Hey, welcome to another episode of Funhaus. I'm your host, Adam Kovic. I'm joined by two beautiful men.
Co-hosts, some would say.
Film buffs.
You were in the Assassin's Creed one?
Yes.
I was in the Assassin's Creed one.
Returning.
So
I'm guesting again for the third time.
What makes you the host and us not also hosts?
I think ad reads probably.
Probably just the ad reads.
Oh,
Except,
okay.
hey, this episode of Funhaus is brought to you by viewers like you for making this episode happen. That's right. It's a freebie. Well, I guess they're all free.
Yeah, they're all free. That's the beauty of Funhaus and most of the stuff we do.
But the show's doing so well that the sponsors are dropping like flies. So
no, that's not it.
Well. No. Don't concern yourself about the business side of movies.
Let you wipe the sweat off your brow. Oh, jeez. Hope those sponsors come back.
Anyway, you tuned in because you saw the thumbnail, and you're here to listen to Lawrence talk about XXX, because James and I didn't see XXX.
We're riding in the wave of XXX Nation.
Is that Tony Collette? Is Tony Collette in XXX? Or is that just another Are you
referring to Ruby Rose, the person who was suspended by all of the bandages from a tree?
No, the blonde executive level powerful woman who looked as though she was telling XXX. We're watching the trailer.
We have lots of questions. But before we get there, real quick, as always, we'll break down the movie. Cost $85 million to make. Domestically, over the weekend, it made 34.4.
It's opening weekend?
Opening weekend, domestically. Foreign, $89 million.
Oh, well, there you go.
$123 million.
That's a foreign movie.
Thanks, China.
Box office returns. This is at the time of filming, which is after its first week when Lawrence saw it, and it's still somewhat fresh in his brain. Hopefully.
We'll see.
We're going to see.
Can something like this be fresh in one's brain?
We're gonna. He's in everything.
Yeah.
All right. And to quickly recap, everybody, who here has actually seen a XXX film?
If we're doing show of hands, then my hand is not up.
There are three of them, James. Where have you been my whole life?
It was
Tony
three
Collette. Now.
Good job.
See,
really?
I know Tony Collette when I see her. I've seen most, but not all of the first one.
Okay.
And arguably none of the second one, other than the trailer, which, as I recall, was just kind of the opening scene of the movie where Samuel L. Jackson finds him in a cafe or something, right? Something happens like that. I've seen the trailer for the second one.
We don't need to break down the first movie, but to catch you up real quick, the first movie was known as let's watch some behind the scenes here.
Are you going to recap the XXX-iverse right now?
Oh, really quick, yes.
Okay.
First movie, a new breed of secret agent.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
James, you're a fan of secret agents.
He's back this time.
I have a new secret agent for you, and he's got tribal tattoos.
Wait.
Good.
Thoughts?
I thought you were talking about the sequel.
What? We're getting there.
Oh.
The second movie was titled Prepare for the Next Level.
Uh-huh. State of the Union, correct?
Correct.
Was he trying to kill the president?
I never saw it.
Okay. All right.
Then the third XXX, The Return of Xander Cage. Kick some ass, get the girl, and try to look dope while you are doing it.
That's the tagline?
These are the taglines. These are official.
That was a line from the first one. They're banking on that nostalgia. That XXX nostalgia.
That you would remember a line, a piece of dialogue from the first film.
Also, the unironic usage of the word dope. There's a lot of unironic things that were already dated when the first XXX came out, and now we're just confusingly dated, because it's not just Vin being behind the times anymore. It's just him being trapped.
I was going to say, unirony, if you look that up in the dictionary, it's a picture of Vin Diesel. And think about that. Everything about him is kind of out of time.
You're right. Yeah. No, he's I don't know if I like or dislike that, because there are a handful of out of time action leads.
Yeah.
But the thing that I either can't decide if I love or hate is the apparent lack of self-awareness. I love the fact that Vin is, I think by all accounts, a very weird and kind of derpy dude. The fact that he was in Last Witch Hunter bizarrely wins points with me. I like people that do passion projects even when they're dorky as shit and kind of reveal to the world what a cornball they truly are.
Yeah.
And XXX is, I think, another one of those. Except it seems to me it's like the nerd is now 30 and needs to show up at the reunion in a Ferrari.
So my thing about Vin Diesel is he's a man who appears on the surface level, at least, to be full of endless positivity. He is a constantly joyous man, and I think that's what also places him out of time, because we live in a world of cynicism. So we see him being excited about rollerblading on the side of a van or something, and we go, who is this douchebag? But we only say that because we're all assholes.
I think you're right.
And he's positive. He's so happy to be doing this.
Oh, yeah. We rip on Vin Diesel once a week at this point.
But he's the best of us.
And he probably laughs along with it and goes, you guys are great.
I think you guys nailed it. That's I'm gonna use this phrase.
Okay.
Watching the movie, I got the feeling it was a passion project for Mr. Diesel. And
Which one? Witch Hunters or this?
I mean both.
So he is like
basically everything he's in at this point.
Yeah.
And I like that. Because this movie doesn't. These types of movies, dumb as they are and theoretically don't deserve to exist, at least they do because Vin and a bunch of Chinese dudes got together and made it happen. I actually don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head how many Chinese companies. I think Hua Entertainment or whatever.
It was suspicious when looking at the domestic versus the foreign gross, because domestic it was like 34.456, like it was right, and then foreign was 89 million on the dot. I was like suspicious.
Yeah.
Odd. Wonder how those oolongs are.
He had a tribal tattoo around his nipple.
Yeah, that's also what I like about Vin Diesel too, is because he makes the scary less scary. So you have a character like Xander Cage, someone who, by all accounts, I would never want to spend a single moment around. I wouldn't even want to get into the same Olympic swimming pool with a Xander Cage type for fear of catching whatever diseases he's riddled with. Except he seems like the kind of tattooed around the nipple tribal tat douchebag who doesn't force his way onto women.
Okay, he can get points for that, sure.
He drives a van, and if you need to sleep in it, he'll let you sleep in it.
Yeah, he's totally cool. He'll help you move. He doesn't care. He volunteers for that kind of shit.
And he brings beer.
So to bring us up to speed, in the first film, Xander Cage is our reluctant hero turned spy.
That's true.
When the world needs him the most, and he finally succumbs and becomes the hero that we need.
Yep.
By blowing up a mountain.
I'll very quickly interrupt you real quick.
Okay.
Because the thing that I love about XXX-1 and XXX-3 are the character establishment sequences.
Okay.
In XXX-1, he pretends to be a bellboy at a country club so he can drive off some dude's Ferrari extremely, and then base jump out of it after he drives it off a cliff just to stick it to the rich assholes.
As one does, yes.
So yeah, that's how we're introduced to XXX and his extremity. He's a Robin Hood of sorts, except he also whips out sweet guitar licks. He doesn't give to the poor at all.
He only steals from the rich.
But maybe that will change in XXX-3.
To recap you on XXX-2, and then moving on to XXX-3, Return of Xander Cage.
Except XXX-2.
Doesn't XXX-2 kill off Xander Cage?
Yes, Gibbons, Samuel L. Jackson's character, remarks that Xander Cage has been killed in action in XXX-2.
Because the extended edition of XXX-6X has the extended edition has a whole sequence where Vin Diesel's stuntman from the first movie plays him, and you only see him from behind.
Oh, Jesus.
And then he gets murdered. I know that much.
I don't want to spoil anything, but maybe there's a cameo in XXX-3.
From his bodyguard?
Oh, that was in the IMDb trivia. I already read it.
Ice Cube's in it?
Ice Cube's in it, yeah. He was also in the trailer.
Yeah,
good.
There's a part where everything seems dire, and then everything explodes, and then there's just a tracking shot of Ice Cube standing on like a shipping container with a grenade launcher. And he says, there's some kind of one-liner.
There's no point for this kind of film to deny its own universe. It's not to say, oh, well, we're not going to acknowledge the events of State of the Union because we know how people feel. But who cares?
Well,
it's good for them to do it.
Before we get too far ahead of ourselves,
it's like Expendables.
We're going to do something really nice for you, the viewer, here at Funhaus. We're going to save you some money because Lawrence is going to give us a play-by-play
of
XXX, The Return of Xander Cage. So tell me, Lawrence, how does this movie begin, crescendo, and then blow up at the end?
Got it. Okay, so it opens with Gibbons and a potential recruit for the XXX program. The gentleman that kicks the napkin dispenser in the trailer?
No.
Not really.
Okay, well, there's a young soccer player, footballer, if you will. I think he's in Mexico or Buenos Aires or something like that. And Gibbons is there. He's like, I'm probably going into way too much detail. All right.
Gibbons?
Gibbons is Samuel L. Jackson.
He's the... he actually... So I will say the intro does one kind of interesting thing. They try to justify XXXing anyway.
It's taking too long.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was. I only watch these movies for the brilliant glimpses of philosophic self-understanding. And
imagine you're trying to tell this story to cavemen around a campfire.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
TV and film no longer exists in this post-apocalyptic world.
Oh, that's right.
Explain it as though it is a Homeric myth.
So there was Gibbons was like dry swimming pools. No one thought that a pool without water would be useful. But then in a drought in Southern California, all these cool skater bros figured out you could do vert tricks in a dry swimming pool. Completely changed the landscape because of their out-of-the-box thinking. And he's like, that's why we have the XXX program. Because in today's world, all the diplomats and governments and spies, they're all playing in their own little box. And we need people that can get outside of that box to solve world problems.
Like it.
So I was like, okay, dumb as shit, but you're building the XXX-iverse. Okay, and then a satellite crashes. Boom, kills Gibbons, dead. Super dead. What will ever happen? And then
satellite just falls on him.
Yeah, satellite from space. Bang,
Okay.
explodes. Wipes out the whole town. It's escalation right off the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have this mysterious figure ascending an antenna. He breaks off some equipment. He's stealing. What's with this? He straps on some skis down a mountain like you see in the trailer. Pops off the skis, jumps on a skateboard, skateboards down the rest of the mountain, high fives a dude out the car window, does a wall ride on a bus, totally extreme, skids to a stop, runs into a bar, hooks up the thing, puts on the soccer game for all the tiny villagers in South American land. Who knows? It's Vin Diesel, hero of the people. He brought sports to everybody. But he's been tracked down finally. He faked his own death and went into seclusion. And then Blonde Lady shows up, and there was a weird conversation that even after the scene happened, I was like, wait, that didn't... So Vin Diesel was like, I'm out. And she was like, no, you're not. And he was like, okay. So then he was in XXX again. And then immediately cuts to a scene where he bangs his way literally through an entire hotel room of women. There's actually a pretty great shot where, so as we all know in XXX 1, he got it on with two ladies. The things I do for my country, referring to their vaginas. Have to up that a little bit. So just basically like a whole gaggle of women descend on him, fade to black, fade back up. Nice shot over all these women sprawled out on the ground, sexually satisfied. Vin puts on his stupid fur coat, shakes off the night rust a little bit, goes out into the world to solve some crimes. Cut to Donnie Yen and crew, Asian crew, busting into CIA headquarters, which was a pretty good action sequence. So are they the bad guys? What's up? I thought the CIA was on our side. Or are they? They steal the satellite control unit that was used to drop a satellite from orbit. So now they're in control of it, these weird terrorist people who stole a weapon from the U.S. government. Vin Diesel tracks them down to a cool nightclub in, I don't know, some kind of South American something. And that's when Vin Diesel and Donnie Yen square off, and they're like, wait, you're extreme. Maybe I'm extreme. Maybe we're both extreme. And they play a cool game of roll the grenade across the table.
As we saw in the trailer.
Which was actually a
You
pretty
did
cool
this,
Adam.
sequence.
You did this.
I
Just
know.
so you know.
I don't want to see the movie.
Yeah,
I want
I
to
know
just
you
see it
don't.
in Lauren's
Yeah.
vision.
Yeah, go
Okay,
on.
let's speed it up a little bit. Let's
right.
get people caught up.
Can you not describe every single scene and shot?
Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh yeah, no. I just kind of need the bullet points.
Anyway,
Real quick though, I actually want to play a quick game with you guys.
Okay.
Welcome to Adam Trivia.
You guys don't know how the movie ended.
We'll get there.
Hold on.
All right.
This is to wake people up.
Let me guess. An explosion.
A pretty cool one.
like the kid just in the background.
That's the soccer guy.
I
John
don't care.
Cena.
Okay. So I'm going to read you a bit of trivia
There it is.
from the XXX-iverse, and you're going to let me know if it's from the first XXX, the second, or the third.
Easy.
Stunt player Harry O'Connor was killed when he hit a pillar off of the Plolarki Bridge, in Prague, parasailing during one of the action scenes.
That's
The
the first
accident
one.
occurred while filming the second take of the stunt. O'Connor's first attempt was completed without the incident and can be seen in the completed film. So I want to let you know that he did it right the first time, but they made him do it a second time, and then he died.
Well, that's good
died.
filmmaking.
Okay.
You
one
don't
for
know
safety.
the first shot is the best shot until the guy dies the next time. I'm going to say the first one.
Lawrence?
Parasailing, you say?
In Prague.
I don't recall a parasailing sequence in the first movie, so I'm going to say the second one.
James is correct. It was the
Damn.
first film.
I got took out.
Don't even need to watch any of them.
Doesn't really matter.
It must have been the base jumping scene, I think.
Okay. This is the second one. I'm
right.
giving you
Okay.
3 of these.
Oh, okay.
Ian McGregor was offered the role of Yorgi. Ian McGregor, actor, was offered the role of Yorgi. 1 out of 1 people found this interesting.
I'm going to say this is the third one, Bob.
I don't remember if there's anyone named Yorgi in that movie. I'm going to say second one again. It's got to be right eventually.
You're both wrong. It's the first movie.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
Yorgi, I
Dang
missed
it. Ewan McGregor, hot off of Attack of the Clones or
Yeah.
whatever.
Train Spotting. I don't know when that movie came out.
2002, I believe.
XXX one?
Yeah.
Maybe that sounds about
Post
right.
Fast Furious.
Oh,
Who's this woman?
I don't know.
Anyway, all right. Last trivia question before we'll come back to it. Don't
Okay.
worry.
Second one.
In the scene where Darius Stone is escaping via boat and Agent Steele is shooting at him, if you look carefully, Steele's gun is firing, but his finger is nowhere near the trigger. 2 out of 4 people found this interesting.
Second one.
I'm going to say the first one.
Lawrence is correct.
Finally.
Aw, dang
See,
it.
Darius Stone.
The
He
game-
gave it away.
The game is tied.
Xander Cage and Darius Stone.
Darius Stone. Click in. Let's
Hey,
go.
this is what you're talking about. This is him skating
Yeah.
down the.
By the
thing.
way, the trailer gives away every major stunt sequence. I was hoping there would be a couple of action set pieces that weren't in the trailer, but they're all there.
It'd be great if he just hit the ground with a thud and just shattered all his legs and just lay there
You
motionless.
see his collarbone just sticking out of the front of
That's
his
not
chest.
how skiing. Anyway,
totally is. When you're extreme, it is. Why did,
so so we only got we were about 15 minutes into the movie.
right.
and we were still-
No, we're actually nearing the end of Act 2 already.
okay.
Excellent.
So
This movie's just moving right along.
Yeah.
yeah. So Donnie Yen and Vin Diesel meet up. They discover that they are both XXX through a line that verbatim is, "We are both XXX." So then they team up.
But do they refer to him as a triple Xer? Or
No,
something? Okay, because they only call him triple X because he has 3 X's on the back of his neck.
that's not his name. Oh, it sort of is.
It's like his call sign, right?
sort of. So
Like 007, except they have
they're
other agents?
They're expanding the meaning of it out. If you are XXX, that means you're extreme and you're part of this like government
License to
program.
Kill.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. And people still call him Xander. So like they still call him by his name, but they also call him XXX, but that has more meaning now. You know. Where were we? Oh yeah. So Donnie, Vin together at last. Oh yeah, her character. I have something to say about her
Glasses.
I have some trivia for her later.
she is the first millennial stereotype I've seen in a movie.
Okay.
Because she like has no emotional boundaries and doesn't relate to people, and she's always nervous.
Okay.
Okay, so Donnie and Vin are together. They say, "Hey, this weapon's too powerful. We should destroy it." Donnie's like, "I agree." So they break it. Except then another, huh?
Conflict.
Oh well, we'll see. Then another satellite crashes on another city. What's going on? I thought they destroyed the weapon. No, turns out it was just a prototype, and the CIA has the real one. So there must be some bad guy at CIA that's doing this.
Okay.
So then they team up to take him down, and they do. Just shortcut all that.
Yep.
But too bad he already. So there's this like battle rama in some stupid warehouse because all battle ramas happen in warehouses.
Yep.
And that's when Darius Stone shows up to save the day. But then the evil CIA guy or woman, I actually don't remember who the villain is.
Good.
Hits a couple of buttons on their evil thing, and another satellite's coming down to crash. Yeah, that was bad.
Did you see that?
It was awesome. Another satellite comes crashing into the warehouse. What are they gonna do? Oh yeah, so they get on an airplane. Vin Diesel takes out the evil CIA guy on the airplane.
Who was the evil CIA guy?
I don't know.
He doesn't remember.
Oh.
I don't remember at all. That was actually the least interesting part of the. And anyway, so Vin's like, shit, the satellite's crashing down. What are we gonna do? What does he do? I'll just take out the satellite with the plane. So he drives the plane into this fireball satellite that's coming down. He's in the cockpit and he lines it up and all, and then he takes off his seatbelt, and then he runs through the plane as it's hitting the satellite and exploding around him. And there's like one shot of him running all the way through the plane and then like diving out the back, and then he grabs onto something to float to ground in safety. And then also they surf a wave with motorcycles. That's cool. That's the warehouse scene right there.
Okay.
Because all deals go
And
down
when
to
do
the warehouse.
when do they reveal that Samuel L. Jackson actually didn't die?
Right at the end.
Okay.
He just shows up again with the soccer guy
Yep.
that were supposedly in the nuclear blast that took out a city. And they're both okay.
Yep.
And they don't say why. And the movie ends. Also, there are record scratches in it.
Okay, good.
Unironic record scratching, which is something that I appreciate.
Iron. How did she do that? How did she just reveal that? She had a jacket on
That's-
and revealed a tattoo on her arm.
Forearm tattoo? Like it pulled
Wait.
inside out.
Did she pull her whole jacket off? Hold on. It looks like she rips her sleeve off in this shot that we're watching. She shows Vin Diesel a tattoo. That's her whole jacket coming off her back.
Yeah, you're right.
And then her jacket's back on
That's
again.
the interior of her arm.
Yeah.
I thought it was her forearm, but no.
Yeah.
Cool.
I thought maybe, which would be cool, and XXX, by the way, if you have a tattoo, and I encourage this, if you have a tattoo but you have to wear a jacket, it'd be cool if they had pockets or like Velcro things that you could remove, so that way you could show people your
Sure.
tattoo, but
Right.
then put it back on again so
Oh,
you
that's
don't
right.
get cold.
And that scene, he humorously references his own nipple tattoo.
This is-
so
I
Triple
saw.
X is getting a little older, a little wiser.
Right.
This is a great thing about XXX. Real quick, we're watching a sequence where Samuel L. Jackson is talking to the footballer, right, recruiting him into the thing. All it is them in an Asian restaurant, yet it's a table with a green screen behind it. They could not film it inside an actual Asian restaurant because they wanted to green screen this sequence.
Yeah,
You
you're
see?
right.
They're
Well, they probably couldn't get Samuel on location or whatever. They got
He was there.
he's there now.
I guess
Maybe it was
you're
a
right.
pickup. I don't know.
They're adding all this in.
It's the stunt, probably.
This looks like
this thing.
Trapped in the Closet.
There it is.
So they
lightly bounced on him.
Yep, they filmed
I guess
the whole
sound
thing.
effects really
All that
sell a movie.
screened.
Yeah, you're right.
Weird.
Is it?
Hey,
is.
that's just proper filmmaking.
So
Why waste the resources when you don't have to?
What's the final takeaway at the end of XXX from Xander Cage?
How many X's would you give it?
Is there a thing that comes up that says Xander Cage will return?
How many triple X's would you give it?
Oh boy, that's. I would say 2 out of 3 triple X's. But it's like it is a XXX movie, and the fact that it exists is good enough for me.
Okay.
But there are a lot of very lighthearted, humorous, like self-aware, additive action movies that exist that genuinely do have like new kinds of stunt sequences and some amount of dialogue that's a little thought-provoking. Most of this is just kind of it. It's so strange because it should be more of a marvel that this kind of movie with its tone exists now, and yet for some reason it just doesn't capture my imagination at all. It was delightful watching it, but it immediately evaporated out of my head.
Are you worried that subconsciously this film indicates the end of Vin Diesel's second revival? Because we kind of are a Diesel out of time. There shouldn't be a XXX movie in Year of Our Lord 2017, but there is.
And it earned money. It earned money.
It earned money overseas.
Yeah.
Right.
And
that seems to be how what movies, and I apologize to derail the conversation, but this is my genuine curiosity because I really don't follow the movie industry much. What types of movies, or what movies recently, aside from like Jurassic World, have cleared a shitload of money in America?
Well, the kind of movies that make money in America, interestingly, seem to be brand heavy things. The Marvel movies make shit ton everywhere.
Yeah. Lego movies.
And DC. And then
movies.
Lego movies and stuff like that, children's movies. But then the other things, the movies that are sometimes the most valuable because they're a little bit lower risk, this are the award bait movies, the La La Lands. La La Land made a shit ton of money compared to how it cost, and it made it all very, very cheaply with limited marketing domestically. And so they didn't probably... The thing about a movie like this is that you have, 6 companies across the globe.
Yeah.
We're like getting loans from various international banking to gather the funds to make this happen. So it's kind of like having stock options, but at a company filled with people. Like they're slightly less worthwhile because they have to pay out to
makes sense
2,500 other employees.
Sure.
But it isn't to say it isn't worth it because I'm sure everyone involved in the stakes of this film probably made their money back. But
also horror films.
Horror films also do really well. Yeah.
Low risk, high reward.
Yep.
Typically, that's usually how they work, and then they can franchise them out.
Yeah.
I can't take this movie seriously anymore.
It never asks you to.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm okay with movies that don't ask you to take them seriously.
I guess that's one of the things that I think I find also refreshing that has nothing to do with the quality of XXX itself, but more the atmosphere that it's launched in. Action movies, for some reason, have lost the ability to just be dumb and stupid. Even Fate of the Furious or whatever, those movies are getting longer and more epic. And the thing that I still love about Fast and Furious is the storylines are still dumb as shit. But like Marvel movies are getting longer. DC movies are laboriously long. XXX, 90-minute runtime.
Oh, really?
It's a bunch of, ish. I kind of, I went into a different zone. So the passage of time meant something different inside the XXX-iverse. But it certainly doesn't overstay its welcome. It moves along. There's just enough dialogue to get you to the next explosion.
It's good.
And if that's what you want, it's nice that that's being made again because, man, I don't want another Batman v Superman. Like, if I want to see Superman and Batman punch the shit out of each other, don't make me sit through 2 hours of philosophy to get there.
Or if it's going to be philosophical, it should be good.
Yeah, it should be good. Right.
I can respect a movie for being dumb fun, most definitely, because I definitely partake in those sorts of things.
So Ruby Rose is an up and comer, by the way. She's been in a lot of action flicks and has done a great job.
Who's she? She like an MMA person?
No, she's just an actress. She just kind of broke.
Okay.
XXX. She was in Resident Evil. She's in one other big movie.
As an outsider looking into the XXX-iverse,
killing it.
I like Donnie Yen. He's a great guy. I think he's fun.
He was the best action in the entire film.
Okay.
Better than Vin.
He should be.
He seems like just a happy guy. He's like my Dalai Lama of action. It seems like they're going for a sort of Rogue Nation Mission Impossible style where like now they're trying to assemble a cast instead of just being the lone wolf on his own.
Yeah.
But it's sort of the NASCAR version of Mission Impossible.
Well, everything's trying to be Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely.
By even incorporating most of the same cast. You think just get Paul Walker. Okay, let's go out on some
Fucking huge.
trivia here.
Okay.
This is the first entry of the series to not feature Michael Roof due to his death in June 9th, 2009. That was worth putting in the trivia section there.
Okay.
Who was that? Never
Well,
mind.
that's his legacy.
I believe he's
Who
a,
was that? That's what it says on
this
his
was worth
gravestone.
I'm sorry.
putting in.
Yep. Okay. Go on.
And your last piece to go out on here. This is for all the monies, gentlemen.
Okay. Oh, are we guessing on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. The movie, not featuring Scott Speedman as Agent Kyle Steele, is from which of the three XXX's? Scott Speedman,
Not featuring Scott
Triple
Speedman.
X native.
Not featuring Scott Speedman.
What is the?
So there's one movie that doesn't have Scott Speedman in it.
2 doesn't have Scott Speedman.
I'm gonna say 3 doesn't have Scott Speedman.
Lawrence is correct.
Oh,
I
rats.
think 0 out of 1 people found this interesting. That Scott Speedman did not reprise his role as Agent Kyle Steele from XXX State of the Union.
Wait, how does 0 out of 1 person not find that
I
interesting?
think someone submitted it
Even
and
the
then
person
downvoted
submitting it,
himself.
yeah.
I was gonna say
There's no auto vote.
out of should include everyone that reads it, right?
Yeah. Tony Jaa still getting work too.
I think you still have to log in and vote. I don't. IMDb trivia is a broken garbage
Yeah,
pile.
I forgot. There were Robo Gloves.
I was.
Yeah, that's ripping off G.I. Joe, which by the way came out also 12 years ago or whatever.
There's a lot of good shots of hot knockers in that.
It looks like they did go through the dumpster of the first G.I. Joe movie's sets
Bit.
and then reassemble things and then make a movie.
I'm also noticing a trend with Vin Diesel working with Game of Thrones actors because he got Ygritte for Last Witch Hunter and now he's got the Hound for this
I would
one.
say it more as a trend of Game of Thrones actors having
Getting more work.
heat, but I think sometimes it's not hot heat. You know, it's not Brad Pitt heat. It's heat. So it's like the agent comes in and goes, "I booked you a really big movie, but it's XXX."
There it is. There he goes. Da 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 boom. It was a weird
It
shot.
looked like a poster from a Universal ride. Anyway,
They have
so that's it for XXX. I do want to go out on a little bit of news.
Okay,
to
news
discuss-
time.
Here's your
News.
Class from the news desk.
Sad news, guys. Ben Affleck is not directing The Batman.
No shit.
Oh boy, that's bad. That's bad news.
I need to learn to start calling this stuff vocally and often because I thought there was no way and Ben Affleck directed Batman film would ever come out under DC. He would try to do something good with it.
That is a really bad sign.
Here's the quote from Ben himself.
Oh, and he's going to try and be diplomatic too.
He
Watch
has to.
this.
He has to. This is the Peter Jackson shit where he had to justify 3 Hobbit films. I hate it when they
But
make them
he's
do
gonna,
this.
man, in 10 years, Ben Affleck is gonna shit talk the fuck out of DC. It's gonna be awesome. He's gonna talk about how terrible it was. It's
Yeah,
gonna be awesome.
once his run as Batman is over.
Yep.
Here are the words from Ben himself.
right,
There are
let's hear it.
certain characters who hold a special place in the heart of millions. Performing this role demands focus, passion, and the very best performance I can give. Hold on. It has become clear that I cannot do both jobs at the level they require.
No bullshit.
Together with the studio, I have decided to find a partner and a director who will collaborate with me in this massive film. I am still in this and we are making it, but we are currently looking for a director. I remain extremely committed to this project and look forward to bringing this to life for fans around the world.
I just don't want my name on it as the one responsible for this horrific mess that all the DC and Warner Brother executives are creating.
It was too hard to be Batman and make movies.
This motherfucker won an Academy Award as both an actual historical human being
yeah.
in Argo, documenting one of the most tumultuously political times in American history, and he won an Academy Award directing that shit,
Did he?
producing that shit, and portraying the lead, but he can't be Batman.
He can't be a cartoon.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
I don't
he
think,
can't
I
even-
think it got best
Picture.
picture, but
Yeah.
it didn't get best director.
Yeah, I know, but the Academy Awards
kind of a
don't
subset,
make any
right?
fucking
Yeah,
sense
yeah.
because how can it be Best Picture without the best director who is also the leading man? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
That was one of the points where they talk about how stupid the Academy Awards are, and they're just like arbitrarily divvying them out because
Well,
then
that's so they can award more films, right?
yeah, basically.
Everyone jumped on this news.
Of course.
But it doesn't matter. He just walked up there and he's like, "All right, I'll take this one." It just says
Yeah.
picture instead of director.
So I'm curious between the two of you.
yeah.
What do you think the order of events was? Was was it Ben Affleck came out with like maybe a treatment or a full script and was trying to pass it around to DC, and DC was like, oh, we need these changes. We want to take these ideas out. This is way too edgy. What are you doing here? So they were basically neutering his vision. Or do you think there wasn't a vision in the first place? He just agreed to do it, and then DC was like, okay, here are all the bullet points Batman has to fit in the timeline that we've allotted it.
I don't think that Ben Affleck filmed a single second of Batman v Superman without already knowing exactly what he was going to do in a Batman movie, because I think he knew this was bad. And I think he knew this was going to end up being bad. But he was like, but it'll give me an opportunity to make a Batman movie that will be awesome and people will love it. And DC liked that idea until it came time for Justice League marketing to start pushing through. And then all their other like Flash and Aquaman and everything. And then they came back and they said, I know the contract says you get to make the movie. And I know you probably tried to be very specific with the wording so that way we couldn't screw you, but we have more money for lawyers than you. And so we figured out how to screw you anyway. So you have to do this now. And he goes, well, then you do it. Because this is BS, and he's gonna shit all over DC and Warner Brothers in like 10 years. It's gonna be great.
It's upsetting for me as a Batman fan, because I think Ben Affleck definitely has the look and the feel of something that I've been looking forward to for a comic book to like jump out.
He's also a great filmmaker.
Yeah.
Like as much as a Zack Snyder apologist as I am, he's good at splashing things on a screen. He's not a great filmmaker when it comes to the nuance and things that you need to do if you want to make your movie more than 90 minutes. Yeah. But Ben Affleck is a great director, and it would have been awesome.
I'm sad to just see where we're at.
So I don't know. I'm a toss up on
17.
as much as I like Batman, he's angry and he punches people. Maybe I'll get in hot water for this. Don't you think it's kind of a waste of Ben Affleck's talents to make a Batman movie?
Not if that's what he wanted to do.
That's fair. I mean, Nolan made fantastic Batman
He's
films.
really good about picking projects that he's passionate about. So stuff like
wait,
The
is he
Town.
crying? Click on that.
Where?
Oh,
Here?
No, down.
Kevin Smith.
Wait, hold on. I want to see this
wait,
one.
oh, man.
Hold on.
Stuff like The Town is like clearly like he's like you can see him as like a kid thinking about his Boston neighborhood and like this stuff. Like it's like he picks these projects that I think don't just come up on his desk.
Yeah.
Nothing against Steven Spielberg's an amazing director, but like I think sometimes Steven Spielberg will like modern Steven Spielberg will be like, I guess I should make this. I've done so much. But
I'm not the biggest Kevin Smith fan, but I know Kevin Smith is by far in Hollywood one of the biggest Batman fans. And he's definitely earworming and telling Ben Affleck like, wouldn't it be cool if? And then they're just going, oh my God, yes. Wouldn't it be cool if? Because I know what's his name? Kevin Smith is like, he's a huge Dark Knight fan. He's always been a cheerleader for Batman films, and having that sort of person being kind of your cheerleader and backing you up on like some really cool creative ideas, that's fun. What is happening? Either way, that does make me sad that he's not going to be a part of it. And I think there's some really cool things you could probably you could almost retcon with Batman v Superman, and you can explore the psychological problems of this character and maybe do a little bit of backstory of like, hey, this is a messed up guy. You could do some fun stuff with that. But
they kind of already burned that arc though, right?
Oh no, yeah, those dreams are gone.
It's sadly because
bye.
That's one of the potential cool arcs of Batman in a DC universe, given that he's basically the only human. Is his corruption or he's supposed to be what the gods can't be. He's supposed to have that moral relativism. And it's really interesting to ask what happens when he loses that. Kind of like Injustice sort of did with Superman, in terms of the game's plot line. But I don't know. It's a bummer because they wasted the good idea already. So they have to reboot it to have another like Batman lost his grip on morality story.
Yep.
Unless somehow they just do it again.
Something entirely new.
Anyway.
Sounds like they don't want anything new.
I thought the XXX conversation was going too well, so I wanted to leave on a downer.
All right.
Here we are.
I got some more notes.
I guess we'll see.
So as always, thank you for watching. Guys, thank you for being on the show.
Yeah,
not at all.
Thanks for having us.
And we'll see you in
Is that Brainiac? Who's that?
probably Brainiac, yeah. So, and we'll see you in a fortnight.
Bye.
Bye.
Most good people would describe as free will.
Right.
The freedom to act.
A choice.
A freedom to do whatever you want
Well,
to.
they kind of explain that in the movie because in the opening, we fast forward 30 years where he's on death row, and we find out later that this scene wasn't in the movie.
That was never in the movie.
We fast forward and find out that he killed a pimp, right? So he